being recorded. A copy will be posted on the benefits website. At this time, I will turn it over to our presenter, Brandon Sheehan.
Thank you very much. It looks like I probably need to reshare my screen. Oh, Nidra, would you mind putting the hosting duties back to me so I can share the presentation?
Absolutely. You should be all squared away.
All right, can you see the screen now?
Yes, we can.
Perfect, thank you very much. Well, thank you everyone for attending today's session to go over the County of San Diego critical illness program that is offered to employees. My name is Brandon Sheehan. I'm Vice President of Key Partner Relationships over at Allstate Benefits. So we won't be taking the entire hour today. I suspect we could probably get through in about 30 minutes. What we're going, there we go. What we're going to go over today is why critical illness, why it's an important product for you to consider. Go over some of the key product features, go through the schedule of benefits of the plans that are offered to you, talk a little bit about the wellness benefit, which is a big emphasis at the county, and then talk about some exclusions and limitations, as well as the policyholder website that we call My Benefits. And before I get into that, just in terms of Allstate Benefits, of course, a lot of people, you recognize Allstate as an organization. Allstate Benefits has been around since the 1950s as a benefits organization. And although we are a large insurance company, we really operate like a small family-run insurance company. And there's three real pillars of how we approach going to market with our business and serving our customers. And that's do the right thing, put people ahead of policies, and defy expectations. And these are all part of that good hands promise you see on the commercials every day. Now, why group critical illness? So we'll go into the benefits that are covered under the program and then the full schedule of benefits. But wanted to provide some statistics for you just to make you aware of how critical this type of insurance is. One of the big reasons people buy this coverage is for cancer. Cancer is everywhere. Most people on this call have likely known someone, possibly a family member or a friend who's been impacted by cancer. Statistically, just about 40% of us will develop cancer at some point during our lifetime. So it's just a staggering number. And these are all different forms of cancer. So, certain ones might be less severe, certain ones are more severe, but it is an impact that we all face. It causes a lot of, concern in terms of how you pay for the care, where can you get the care, and it's a difficult time for most people going through this type of condition. And as far as the top causes are concerned, for men, the number one cancer for men is prostate cancer, which probably comes as no surprise for anybody on this call. And for women, it's breast cancer. So those are two things that most people commonly, associate a cancer diagnosis with how it impacts their family members. Number two is lung cancer, and three, colon cancer. Other ones you've probably heard about out there. But it doesn't end at cancer. There's lots of conditions that will be covered on this critical illness plan. The second and third ranking in terms of where we see the most claims happen on this program is heart attacks and stroke. So in the US, about every 40 seconds, an American's going to suffer a coronary heart event like a heart attack or stroke. And as far as how many people get diagnosed every year have this occurrence, it's just about $800,000 each for a heart attack and a stroke. So a significant number of individuals in America are facing these conditions every single year. And so, how do you be prepared and be protected? Health insurance is going to cover the most of the care, or a lot of the care, but it doesn't cover everything. Another way to think about this type of critical illness coverage is you're supplementing your medical plan, because no matter what plan you have, you're going to have some out-of-pocket costs. And you're also likely to face, missing some time at work. So you're missing income coming in as well. And so having this type of program is going to help cover those out-of-pocket costs, as well as help give you extra money that you're going to need in time of need. So how this product works as far as the group critical illness itself is it is a lump sum cash benefit to help you cover those out-of-pocket expenses. So when we get to the next slide, you'll see various benefit options that you can enroll in. That is the amount of money that we would pay to you in a cash sum, and that's going to be paid to you whether it's direct deposit or a check, and you can simply use that money however you need. Other key features of this program, it's guaranteed issue coverage for you and your dependents during this annual enrollment. So whether you have coverage right now, or maybe you waived this coverage in the past and you're now enrolling for the first time, it is guarantee issue. So you will not have to complete any medical questions in order to get approved for coverage. Also, new hires and qualifying life events will receive guarantee issue throughout the year. So if you get done with this enrollment and you decide not to elect coverage, but potentially have a qualifying life event, you would then become eligible for guarantee issue coverage again. If you don't have one of those items, you can always wait until next year's open enrollment to apply for coverage. There are 3 plan options to choose from. So they're just different benefit levels within each option, which you'll see on the next screen. But there's 2 coverage tiers in terms of different rates. The first one is employee or employee and child. With this program, children are covered at no cost. And then the other option is employee, spouse, or family. Again, because the children are covered at no cost, they would be automatically looped into that family coverage. There's no pre-existing condition exclusion. However, there is a caveat for a cancer diagnosis, primarily when it comes to if it were a second diagnosis of cancer for you. So as you'll see up on that screen, it says that the first diagnosis of cancer, while covered by the policy, is a recurrence of cancer. It's subject to a 12-month treatment-free period. So what that would mean is if you are still within that 12-month treatment-free period, and that maybe your cancer returned, it may not be eligible for a benefit to be paid out to you. You would have to be treatment-free for a full 12-month period in order to be eligible to make that claim. Now, this doesn't prevent you from enrolling in the coverage. It only will determine if a claim is payable. And when we say treatment-free, it does not include routine follow-up visits or maintenance medication, which is going to be very common for anybody who has had cancer, gone into remission, and they're taking some, certainly going in for follow-up visits and taking maintenance medications. This coverage is available to anybody over the age of 18 or 18 and older, I should say, and there's no maximum issue age. There's no benefit reduction at any age, so that the amounts that you see on the upcoming screen will not change as you get older. And these benefits are paid regardless of any other medical or disability plan coverage. Again, it is a lump sum. What you see on the next screen is what you get, and you use it however you would like. If you decided to leave the county, this coverage is portable at the same benefits and rates as when you signed up. So here is a list of the covered conditions on the critical illness plan. And there are brochures and additional information on a microsite that we have built for the County of San Diego employees. I will show you that website link, that URL, on the last screen of this presentation. And it's also on your benefits enrollment site. So as you'll see, there's kind of some green headers that have the initial categories of benefits covered under this plan. So all of these benefits, you'll see the initial critical illness benefits, which are heart attack, stroke, organ transplant, end-stage renal failure, which is kidney failure, transient ischemic attack is like a mini stroke, coronary artery bypass surgery. And then you'll see plans 1, 2, and 3. And this is where you have a decision on which benefit levels you would like to enroll in. So plan 1 is, think of it as a low option, plan 2 is a medium option, plan 3 is the high option. It's just a matter of how much coverage you can afford or willing to pay for. And these are the benefit levels that would be paid out to you should one of these conditions happen. So those were the initial critical illness benefits. There's also the cancer critical illness benefits. So you have invasive cancer, and then you've got carcinoma in situ, which is a non-invasive cancer. And then there's also a skin cancer benefit. So the skin cancer benefit is actually paid can be paid once every 365 days. All of these other conditions will pay either once or twice. Which goes into the next category, which is called second event benefits. So what the second event benefits are is it is a recurrence of those conditions that we just went over. So the initial critical illness benefits, the heart attack, stroke, organ transplant, and then you have second event cancer critical illness benefits, which is that lower category, that cancer critical illness benefits. So should you have a second occurrence of one of these conditions, it would pay out the exact same benefit you see on the screen for one additional time. Now, the last category of benefit conditions is the benign brain tumor, a coma, complete blindness, complete loss of hearing, and paralysis. And you'll see the corresponding benefit levels that would be paid out to you should one of those things happen. And the last benefit, which we'll go into more depth of what's covered on that, is the wellness benefit. You have incredibly rich wellness benefit at $100 per year. That covers is payable for each covered member at that same level. So if you do choose to enroll your family members, every covered member is eligible for up to $100 per year if they receive one of the covered tests, which we'll go through on the next slide. Now up on the screen, you'll see under benefit amounts, it says covered dependents receive 50% of your benefit amount. So if you do choose to enroll your family members, they will receive 50% of that plan 1, 2, and 3 benefit, not including wellness. Everybody is eligible for that full $100 wellness benefit, but everything else would be paid at 50% of the benefit you see on this screen. And lastly, for this program, each benefit's payable separately. So there are certain situations where you could have multiple conditions that you're diagnosed with, and those are all payable separately. Now, the wellness screening benefit. So again, this pays $100 directly to you. We make the claims process incredibly simple through our online benefit site, My Benefits, which we'll go through a little bit later. But these are all of the covered tests in order for us to pay that wellness benefit to you. And the big one that you see highlighted in bold font is the lipid panel, also known as a total cholesterol count. Now, this is very commonly included, and I believe it is included in your biometric screening as part of the County of San Diego Employee Incentive Biometric Screening Wellness Program. So here at Allstate Benefits, we have a similar biometric screening program. And so I have collected on my wellness benefit based on receiving the lipid panel results from that biometric screening. In addition to that, you'll see very common well-woman exams on here, mammographies and pap smears, and a whole host of other tests that you might receive based on your annual medical care. Now, there are some exclusions and limitations, but very few. So under these situations, we will not pay benefits. Which number one, you'll see war, participation in a riot, insurrection, or rebellion, intentionally self-inflicted injuries while sane or insane, any loss to which a contributing cause was the covered person's commission of or attempt to commit a felony or being engaged in an illegal occupation, suicide while sane or self-destruction while insane, or any attempt at either. And lastly, any loss sustained or contracted in consequence of a covered person being intoxicated or under the influence of a controlled substance, unless administered on the advice of a physician. So My Benefits is your dedicated policyholder website. There's a very simple login for you to get in if you are a first-time user. If you enroll in coverage, you will not be able to get into My Benefits until after the effective date of coverage, because we may not have your information in the system at that point. But once you get into the system, you'll be able to view your certificate of coverage. If you're having trouble sleeping, it's a great read sometimes. But you'll also be able to file claims, see all the correspondence related to claims. You can see your EOBs. If you do get a claim and what's paid out, it will show you exactly what was paid out to you. If there's missing information on a claim, you'll see that information as well in the correspondence. This is a secure website. As it relates to wellness benefits, there's an express wellness claim capabilities within the system. So there's kind of a full claim and then an express claim tile that you can click on, which limits the amount of information that you have to provide in order to get paid that benefit. It does have direct deposit instructions on the website where you'll put in your routing number and account number, which allows you to be paid faster. And it is fully mobile optimized. So we do not have an app at this point in time, but it works on your smartphone. And so that's how most people file their wellness claims, is they'll get whatever supporting documentation from their provider that shows what kind of tests they received. And most people will simply take a picture with their phone, save it to their photos, and then you can go into the website and just upload that from your photo library instead of having to scan anything at a computer and go on to your, an actual desktop to file the claims. It makes it very simple and easy. And we now have e-signatures. So certain claims do require a signature, but there is e-signature capabilities within this as well. So this is the website link or the URL for that microsite, and I will stop sharing and I'm going to reshare, just kind of give you all a look at what that website looks like. Okay. So I have the URL typed in here. And so this is what your microsite looks like. So very easy way to get over to My Benefits. You can click on these hyperlinks over here to get over into the My Benefits site to log in and file any wellness claims. When you get to this site, this will be closed, but this is exactly what you will see when you get on here. You simply click on this top bar and you'll see quite a few things. A brochure of your product, which I showed you a snapshot of the brochure within the presentation, a video on why you should consider critical illness. You've got another flyer very similar to the brochure. You've got an actual wellness flyer, which I'll pull up right here. This shows you all of those benefits that are payable under this plan. You'll have a claim form should you want to file it via paper. This also takes you to the link on our website where we have all of our claim forms available. And there's actually a specific skin cancer claim form that was designed just for the County of San Diego as well. So that is the dedicated microsite. A lot of great information on here that you can go back to at any point. This is a live site that you can visit at any time during this enrollment process. So that concludes the presentation for the critical illness plan, and now we'll open it up for any questions that anybody has.
Yeah, I don't see that any questions have come through the chat so far. So we'll just kind of leave it open. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to go ahead and submit those now.
If anyone is curious to know what rates would potentially look like, you'll find them within your benefits enrollment site. And you can also see them on the brochure. So this is what your brochure looks like. Has all the cover conditions and a little description of what they are. This is that grid that we went through in the presentation. And then you'll see all of the Plan 1, Plan 2, and Plan 3 premium options for you. So they are age banded rates. So it's called an attained age rating, which means that every 5 years your rates would go up just a little bit. They are unit tobacco rates, so it does not matter what your tobacco usage is. You will pay the same rate. So right here you'll see the employee and employee child tier of rates on Plan 1. And then you see the employee spouse family rates on your right hand side. So these are all based on 24 pay periods. So these will be, if you were paid 24 times a year, this is your payroll specific premium that you would pay for this program.
Brandon, we have our first question here. Can I include my parents on this plan?
Unfortunately, you cannot include your parents on this plan. This is just for employees, your spouse, and your eligible dependent children.
I have another question here. How far back can you request the wellness benefit?
As long as you can supply supporting documentation of that claim, which most people can if you've been with the same medical carrier for a long time. Contractually, it says 12 months, but our claims team will review any claims as long as you had coverage during that time and you have enough supporting documentation showing what tests you received, we will pay that claim.
And I have one more here. Someone asking, I was just diagnosed with CKD stage 3. Do I have to wait till I'm on the end stage to file a claim?
If you have CKD, I don't know what that term stands for, and maybe we take this offline. Second. But if it is a form of cancer, generally what you need is a confirmed, a pathology report is typically with a cancer diagnosis. And if you already have that report confirming your diagnosis and you are currently covered by the critical illness plan, there's nothing that would stop you from filing your claim right now.
We have one more here. Do you have to be on disability to file a claim?
You do not. Yeah, this is simply based on the diagnosis of the condition. And for the individual who had asked about CKD, I would recommend calling our customer care line, who can direct you into the claims team to talk specifically about your claim. They are the real experts who handle those on a day-to-day basis. They will let you know everything that you need in order to get that claim initiated.
Brandon, looks like there's another one. Looks like someone may have had a claim that was denied for a stroke. Is there anything that they can do to, or Allstate, is there anyone at Allstate who could assist with the claim denial and see why it was denied?
Certainly, if you wouldn't mind connecting with the benefits team, they will connect with me, and then I will get the appropriate individuals involved. Does that sound okay, Nidra?
Absolutely, sure does. And I'll put our phone number and our email in the chat in the response. If any of you are still there and have questions, please feel free to type them in the chat box and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
And for the individual who had the claim that did not get paid, I would certainly recommend calling customer care if you haven't already, to find out why it wasn't approved initially. It could be missing paperwork that wasn't supplied, or maybe it wasn't a covered condition on the plan. It could have a different diagnosis of what was actually occurred versus what might be covered. So could be various factors, but I would certainly recommend doing that first, so you have information on why it may not have been paid initially, if they're still on the phone. You do not need your policy number to sign up on the website. I believe it is your date of birth, it's a combination of your date of birth and your, I think the last four of your social security number to get in initially. Possibly a zip code. But once you do log in initially, you'll set up your own credentials, just like any website. I see a question for, you can only have one wellness test per year. So if you had them in the same year, only one would be payable.
Well, it looks like we're not getting any much traffic on questions. I believe we can conclude the webinar. Are you okay with that, Brandon?
I am, and I have, I just started looking at all the questions. I have the individual information about the claim. I will go ahead and do the research on my end and reach out to them directly.
Would this be for that denied claim, just
Yes.
to clarify?
Yep.
Fantastic. Thank you. I'm sure they're happy to hear that. Well, everyone, I believe this concludes the webinar since we're not getting any more questions. I thank you all immensely for joining us and making time in your day. Everyone have a great one. And if you have questions after the webinar, please feel free to call the benefits division.
Thank you very much, everyone. Pleasure being here, and have a wonderful rest of your day.